Wow, like
Yes, hello.
I don't even know what to think of an intro like that, man.
Yes,
Like super confused on that.
this is actually in reverse, demons out there in Black Flame Land. I'm actually being interviewed, so thank you for tuning in. Whoever just came in, I appreciate you so much. It's going to be fun to be on the other side of this. So I am being interviewed by actually one of my faithful viewers, JD, and he has an awesome fucking show on his JD Stories page, which you guys can find pretty easily on Facebook. You just have to basically put JD Stories in the search bar, and you can fucking find it. So whenever you're ready, sir, go ahead with your spiel.
I'd like to thank you, Reaper, for letting me use your platform, being that everything was going wrong on my side tonight. Um,
Trust me, I've written the book on technical fucking difficulties.
like Reaper said, I'm John. I'm part of the JT Stories page, the founder of it, founder of JKJ Escapades, and also Afterlife Explorers. Reached out to Reaper for an interview to give him a chance to tell us his outtakes on his paranormal experiences and what he has coming up. I hope you guys all enjoy it. So, Reaper, what got you into the paranormal?
Spirits have been following me since I was a kid. Honestly, growing up in a godless house, I was not pre-programmed to not believe that any such entities exist. And I think that is definitely a focal point for most people. Now, I understand there was like this great craze, with paranormal investigation, which is totally fine. I think if you have the right tools, the right heart, and the right energy to try to connect, I see nothing wrong with it whatsoever. Honestly, any real entity doesn't want to be displayed for the most part, like you probably seen on TVs. Now, I totally appreciate what you do and the work that you do, because you do it more on a, more of a heartfelt uh, kind of interaction. So for me, it basically all started in the basement of my parents' home way back in Ohio.
What part of
Uh,
Ohio?
it's a little place just outside of Massillon. It's called Jackson Township. It's like a city, but not a city. But there was a lot of Indian burial grounds. Like, you could find literally all kinds of arrowheads and stuff
God.
like that. So the where the house was built, uh, definitely, I think there may have been some items that went into the ground. From any type of. There's a specific Native American tribe that was once there. I just can't think of it at the moment. So the fact that every time I went into that basement as a kid, there was always something watching me. I
Oh
could
no.
feel it. It was instantaneous. Figures moving in the darkness only, um, which, shadows would be very, very prevalent.
Right.
So I could always see them, just a dark figure. It's almost like, the song Black Sabbath by Black Sabbath, dark figure watching me,
Right. Right.
standing before me kind of thing. I'd be playing my drums in my mom's basement or just down there, maybe playing video games and whatnot. And I would just always sense it, but I was never afraid. I was never afraid. Um,
Right.
the
And mostly when younger kids, they usually freak out and they run to their mom, like, there's something watching me, there's something going on. Then they make a big spill about it and like, oh, you're paranoid.
Well, sure. Or, especially back in the 80s, it was like, oh, that's bullshit. That doesn't exist.
Right.
There's nothing wrong. It's an old house. I'm like, shit, the house was only there since 1972. So, by 80, 81, it still wasn't that old of a house. So I was like, no, there's definitely presence here. I mean, I'm beneath ground. And like I said, the fact that there were tribes that came through there, I always had a sense that there was definitely more to the town than meets
Right.
the eye. Especially when I was in school, in elementary school, they always would have like history about, Jackson Township and, before it became all farmland and then it became, basically like its own town. People would, came and settled there. So there's a history there. And I always kind of, when I think back to it, I really think that that's, you know, what those presences were.
Right. Right. So what was the one in
Sometimes it would
the
be cold. Sometimes it would be really fucking cold.
like, yeah, we've had some of that, like some of the places that we investigated. Like, I really wasn't like a big believer on the cold spots until like actually within the past couple of years. Like we'd be sitting in one place that we did in Table Rock, Nebraska. We sitting in a locker room, which yeah, it's down underground and it's chillier, but you can most definitely tell, the room change in the cold spot. If it approaches you and things like that.
Yeah, definitely. Just like you're in a one section of somewhere, and then you just simply walk through a doorway, which doorways are always kind of a dead ringer for, paranormal experience. And then suddenly it's just like way more colder than any other part. There's no real reason for that.
Right. Right. So, what would you say that one of your most, I don't know how to word it, like one of your most creepiest experiences were?
Um, I would say as far as like a creepier experience would be a lot more into my adult life. Because I spent a lot of time studying the occult as well as, my path in general. A
Right.
lot more because, the older you get, the more intellect you have. When you're a kid and you find it, it's like you get pieces of it sticks with you. But when you
Right.
really dedicate yourself to learning, different paths, different cultures and stuff like that, shit can really open up. And for me, I would say in my early 20s, when it was the first time I ever took part in a group Samhain celebration, which is one of the many Sabbats. Samhain is also Samhain or Halloween for all of you out there in Black Flame Land that don't quite know what its traditional name is. And that's okay. Now you do. You're welcome.
Learn something every day.
It's a feast of celebrating the dearly departed. It really is. And in a circle situation, it's not a closed practice either, so I'm speaking freely, so don't worry about it.
Right.
We invite all of lost souls and try to guide them to where they need to be, because at that point on October 31st, the veil is at its thinnest, so naturally spirits are going to just kind of show up. They
Exactly.
just do. um, and it's not always a malicious thing, but I can remember at this one particular one, we actually had to expel one of these entities because, when you open the floodgates, so to speak, you never know who's going to step through. And it was quite
Exactly.
malicious. So it was pretty freaky. You could feel it just kind of running around the circle of all of us. There was about 10 of us.
Oh wow.
And I was in college at the time, and it would, like, you could see people's hair move as it whipped by. And just you know how you get the chills, either because maybe something tickled you or something like that, but goosebumps were forming, and it was just like, okay. And then it would stop. You could hear a very low voice, not totally audible, but audible enough to hear that it was a male voice.
To
And
make
he
it
was
out, right?
shouting. Yeah, and he was shouting. It was just like, who the fuck is this? Why are you here?
Man,
And of course, the first thing that we think to do is to try to communicate.
right,
So we're like, you're welcome within our circle, come in peace and leave in peace. And it just was trying to knock shit over.
dang, that's crazy.
Flames, the flames that we had on our altar there just rose. You could tell there was a lot of anger there.
Right,
And I think in a lot of ways, that's how you can kind of tell when something is malevolent. Now, obviously, if it attaches itself to you, that's a whole nother story.
yeah. I've dealt with that a couple times.
Indeed. There
Not
is
fun.
a way. There are many ways. It doesn't matter what path you follow.
Right,
But there's definitely some surefire things I think, and I've actually counseled folks on how to quickly get rid of something.
right. And all whoever's watching this, nothing against your religion, but the religion that I'm in now, I find it easier to actually get rid of that than I did before.
What's up, John? He said, we definitely need to talk about ghost hunting, which is awesome.
Yeah, that's something we do quite a bit of. We actually have a big documentary coming up on a town. I'll have to give you the info offline because of privacy
Talk about it right
privacy
now.
reasons.
For sure. You don't want to stir up old spirits,
Right,
as it
right.
were.
So
Leave them
one
dead where they belong.
right. So one of my biggest questions that I always ask when I'm interviewing people is, what is your outtake on a Ouija board and why?
If you don't know what you're fucking doing, don't touch it.
Thank you.
I can't tell you how ridiculously stupid that I think it was either Hasbro or Mattel, one of the two. They were the biggest toy makers. Or no, was it fucking Parker Brothers? I'm trying to remember. When I was a kid, they would sell this in a toy store with all the action figures, the WWF wrestlers, and all that shit. And here is a Ouija board. Oh, come have fun. See who comes through. And I'm
Right.
sitting here going, I saw a movie. Oh, Milton Bradley. Thank you, John. I appreciate you, brother. They're like, oh, talk to the spirits. Nobody thought anything about this.
Right.
And I'm like, I saw a 1980s horror film called The Witchboard, and nothing good came of that at all.
Right.
And before I even knew that this is a ages old thing, that I just had this feeling that I just shouldn't do it. So until, like I said, when I got a little bit more seriously dedicated to the paths that I was walking, I started to learn more about it and how to protect yourself.
Right.
And that it's always good to be with more than one person because of that energy. Having a more of a almost a group synergy, if you will, can help keep that circle nice and tight, and that if anything does come through, you can expel it together. When you do it by yourself, guess what happens? You get manipulated.
Yep. Or yeah, and it's gonna attach itself to you, and you don't have no protection.
Exactly. If you're not equipped or you don't know what to do, it's very easy to have something kind of, like you said, either attach itself to you, possess you, and haunt you, really.
Right. And believe it or not, like, I don't care what anybody says out there, not only a Ouija board, if you don't know what you're doing, don't use it, but spirits and demonic things, evil things can actually attach itself to almost anything. Like any of your ghost hunting equipment, like your EVPs, like your digital recorders, your spirit boxes, and everything. Like it's not just the Ouija board. It's like you're gonna have more come through on a Ouija board, but like if there's something already there before you even use a Ouija board, there's a very good chance that it can attach itself to your equipment.
Absolutely. Everybody out in the comment section, you guys are fucking badass. I love you.
Kayla asks, can we talk about tarot cards? Like I don't know a whole lot about tarot cards. Like that's one thing I've really never got into.
I've been reading tarot for about 30 years. Uh-oh, there's my age showing.
I was like, what, somebody in here? Oh, shit.
Tarot cards are a wonderful way to connect with, as I always say, the universe. Through the cards, it's not the reader that speaks through the cards. Literally, when you're with that person and you don't read for yourself, don't ever do that. You want to know why? Your own energy manipulates the outcome or answers that you get from any said reading. So it's important, as somebody who is going to become a reader for other people, to pull a card every day just to get to know each one and what they represent. Now, here's another fact. Every tarot deck is different and they have different meanings. And nowadays, it's been so sensationalized, it's all over the place. So there's nothing wrong with getting decks that are inspired by, let's say, a movie or a show or something like that. But
Supernatural.
Yeah, for sure. You have anything from, Disney villains to Nightmare Before Christmas,
Right.
the Sanderson sisters, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I myself collect many decks. But there is one deck, and this goes for everybody, that they bond with. It's that deck that every time you do a reading for somebody, it's spot on every time because it has bonded with you. And it's an energy thing. So they're not inherently evil. there's misconceptions about, the death card, which only represents the end of something. Like, let's say you've been through a traumatic experience situation, you're coming out of it. If that card pops up, that's what it's representing. You know what I mean? Or the devil card. I mean, folks, it doesn't mean the devil's gonna, I'm gonna pop up and fuck you up. That's not what happens. The devil card actually represents, kind of like the good or negative aspects of whatever situation you're looking for clarity on. So, that's why it's like, oh no, don't touch those fucking cards. Everybody's got their misconceptions, and movies don't fucking help.
Right.
It's just a divinity tool. It's no different than the runes of the Norse path, or divinity coin, pendulum readings. There's nothing negative about these things.
That's one thing I really never did get is the pendulum readings. Like I don't understand those, but that's that's a total different topic.
Well, for sure. But actually, like I said, most divinity tools, no matter what the style or where it originated from, it's all about energy, people.
Right.
And that's the same thing about, paranormal experiences is an exchange of energy. It's energy on a different level.
Right.
Because obviously they're on the other side of things. So with the pendulum, and there's a board that goes with it, somewhat representing or kind of closely related to the Ouija in a way, but it's a way to get more definitive answers fast.
Gotcha.
You don't have to channel anything. It's basically, you hold it over there, over top of it. Your energy is connected to that pendulum, and the universe takes care of the rest.
Right. I also say now they have pendulums that come with the base and everything, with the board, so you don't even have to hold it anymore. Yeah, I've seen that. Cody also said that death whistles are another one that is very few discussed. I personally have actually used the death whistle, and I find it a bunch of hocus pocus. Like,
I don't know. Is that a relatively new invention, or does it go further back?
No, death whistle goes way back also.
Okay, that the death was that's actually one that I'm just learning about now, so maybe you can school me.
Yeah, actually, Cody, the one that's in the chat, he knows about quite a bit about the death whistles. I think he said he has a collection of quite a few different ones.
Holy shit!
Yeah, they're Aztec is what they are.
Oh,
gotcha. Used to summon spirits and create horror and fear wherever they went. These whistles emit a scream that sounds like a woman being tortured in horrible agony.
Did you hear that? That came out of nowhere.
I did hear that.
See, the ghosts are talking.
Insatiably intrigued.
Yeah, you'll have to look into it. Like, they've always interested me, but I've never really got deep into them. Oh, the 90s?
1990s.
They're not that old.
No, they were extracted from a temple from Mexico City.
So it was something that was recently discovered in the last 30 years. Well, that's badass. Now,
Cody said that he owns 48 of them.
40 fucking 8 of these things. Holy shit balls. I tip my dome to you. That's pretty impressive. I would definitely dig, checking those out. That's interesting. So I don't know the way I would view that type of thing, even though I don't know much about it yet, but I'm definitely going to research. So thank you for that. It all depends on the person that wields it. It's like any of these.
Yeah, it's all about the intent.
The intent, and are you going into it with an open mind?
Right.
if you go into any of these things, seance, tarot reading, anything, preconceived, generally what's going to happen is you're going to have a negative experience.
Right.
So if you didn't gain anything off of that, there's so many different aspects to these things. You have to look at not what you're expecting to happen, but what actually does happen when you do it.
Right. And what can happen.
Absolutely.
So another question for you is like, have you done like very much like paranormal investigating or anything like that?
I am proficient at house cleanings.
Gotcha.
That's just it's just a general term. It could be a house, it could be a business, it could be your mother's diner around the corner. If something's going on,
Right.
and I generally will guide them on what they can do to try to get rid of whatever's going on or lessen the activity. If they're not having any success, then I will come in and deal with it personally.
Right. Well, my next question was going to be, what was your favorite like piece of equipment? But I don't know if you would have one.
For me, it's like basically my tools. Even at my shop, I don't refer to them as, some people refer to them as altar items or magical items. I just refer to them as craft tools. So I have a wand. I have many wands actually. For different, every crystal stands for something different energy wise and all that. So anything, selenite is one of my personal favorite wands. It's very good at, I don't know, almost user friendly for just about any type of situation. Let me see. Trying to think of some things I've used. Sage is always a big one. Different incenses, dragon's blood. I think I lost him. Maybe he'll come back. So I'll continue on what the hell I was fucking saying until he comes back. So dragon's blood, lavender is definitely a good tool to use to expel anything negative or malicious. Absolutely, Kayla, kind of figured. Technical difficulties. I think he's back. Yes, he's back. Yay!
I don't understand how I don't have no internet when I wasn't even using Wi-Fi. Like, how is that even possible? Something's over me tonight. I swear, man.
Must be what we're talking about.
That
you're in here with the big bad devil daddy. Anything can happen.
Yeah, got that right.
So I was just kind of like, oh, okay. That's awesome.
Since that got brought up, why don't you tell us a little bit about your store?
Oh, sure. I was actually going to just real quick kind of adding to that. There are a couple of staffs that I use as well that are particularly good for expelling some, nasties, as I like to call them. Some can be demons. Some could be just
You're pain in the ass spirits,
negative souls that just need to go.
Right.
So, I don't have any like electrical equipment. I mean, as an empath and a seer at the same time, I can deal with them or spot them. Sometimes even fucking see them, which is absolutely terrifying. But
yes,
at the same time, it's an adrenaline rush. I dig it.
I just actually recently, within the past couple of years, have connected with being able to see and hear. And there's been a few times
you don't pick and choose when it happens either.
Right. And there's been a few times it's like, whoa, I don't even want to see you. Like, go, man.
Absolutely, especially if it's like, a soul that, especially with children, it's like you connect with them, almost on a heartfelt level. And it's like you want to help. And then there's those that were just like, nope, want to get the fuck rid of you as fast as I possibly can.
It's like you're standing in the room with me because we actually have a little girl that visits us quite often, and her name is Emily, and like she is most definitely not demonic or poser. She's a little girl, and like it makes me feel so bad because like she's not to get
stuck.
not to get in a tangent, but she's stuck. She don't want to cross over, but she does. That goes to with her mom and dad, but she wants to stay here.
Because she finds comfort in being John.
Absolutely, especially if it's a place that feels like home or it was once their home. Um, Naturally, you could definitely find some kind of a middle ground. It's almost like the Beetlejuice idea that you can coexist with certain spirits that, like I said, are benign, they're non-malevolent, and they just feel great there. There's nothing wrong with that. Oh, Kayla, most definitely. Whenever my mother passed away in 2019, she reveals herself to my wife at the strangest of fucking times. And it's always like a quick startle, but then she's like, oh, okay, you're back.
Right.
Our dad does that.
My dad just did that. My girlfriend flew in. Just a quick story. Flew in from Ohio. Your stomping grounds.
Gotta love
And
it.
dude, it was weird. I got out of the shower, got dressed, and I was at my altar. I looked in the mirror, and my dad was standing behind me. Here we go again. We're further. No. Yeah.
Oh, I think we're good now.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think just this discussion alone, the spirits are just kind of like, I'm surrounded by demons all the time. I mean, it's commonplace. So, anytime my wife and I are talking to each other on the phone, especially cell phones, you hear a lot of demons speak, and it's just like, God damn it, would you guys shut up?
Right. I'm trying to have a conversation.
This has truly become
Right.
the haunted podcast.
I like it. I like it.
So
tell us a little bit about your store and like what you sell and
sure, absolutely. Kayla, I'll answer that for you in just a second. So we own a store here in Plattsmouth. We originally had the store in Omaha, but financially and just energy wise, people wise, it just ended up being a better move for us to come down here. We are a multi-path store. So most metaphysical shops only cater to one dynamic. On one end of the spectrum, you have mainstreamers. And that's what I call them, and probably most other people as well, where they realize that the stuff is popular as fuck, Spencer's, and suddenly they're carrying sage bundles and tarot cards, and Baphomet starts showing up all over the place, and they're like, yeah, that'll drive the kids in, and sure as fuck it does. Are you kidding me? Now, you see people wearing, I'm with Satan today or whatever the fuck the latest trend is. I'm
right.
just like, you don't even fucking know what you're doing. And they're going to have a fun time with you. So good luck with that.
I'll see you in the store again in about a week.
Exactly. But we cater to all paths. So it doesn't matter if you're Wiccan, traditional witch, or a druid, or a Norse woman as well. It doesn't matter the path. We carry something of just about every philosophy there is. And magic at its root is universal. So candle magic, we have plenty of spell candles. I can't tell you how many times I counsel I don't know. They're called baby witches. I hate that term, but that's just kind of like a term for somebody that's just discovering their path. So I do a lot of beginner work. So I carry a lot of the books that get and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. The fact is you made it. You realized it now. You know where you belong.
Right.
And for many people, they don't realize it, but somewhere down the ancestral line, there were others just like yourself. So I don't carry books there are just some occult books that give you so much information it makes you want to vomit.
Oh, wow.
You know what I'm saying? It's hard to follow, but there's
Right.
a lot of really good authors out there that kind of dumb it down a little bit, take all the wordiness out and says, this is this is that.
Right.
So I carry wands, I carry altar supplies, anything from like altar cloths to different representations, statuary, crystals of every magnitude, even some of the most rarest ones. Anything from like towers to rough tumbled, breakable geodes, a little bit of everything, crystal jewelry. That's a big thing. And not just for occultists or people that, are connoisseurs of it. It's for everybody. There are undeniable benefits from different types of crystals and what they can do and how they connect with your energy. Anything from amethyst to tiger's eye to rose quartz, clear quartz, you name it, we fucking got it in one form or another. But
Right.
we're a little bit different. We also, as a culture, people say different paths and stuff. We're all kind of part of the same, culture. So we do carry a lot of like apparel, decor. There's nothing, wrong with taking pride in
Right.
what you follow. And it's 2023, motherfuckers. People don't believe like they used to. There's a reason for that. Everything is cyclical.
Yep.
Unfortunately, Christianity stamped us out, but we came back with a vengeance.
Got that
So
straight.
a lot of that, we do get a lot of pagan families. So we have really cool, like different coloring books that also help teach at the same time, toys of all different kinds. We got really cool plushies. Of course, they're all beautifully Halloweenic.
Right.
Lots of Nightmare Before Christmas stuff. So if you're a Disney fan, you'll love our store because
Right.
we're big Disney nerds, Harry Potter nerds. So it is what it is.
Right. And what's your store called?
Little Owl Mystics.
Everybody go then. I believe you do have a Facebook page, right?
Yes, we do. You can
Okay.
find it very easily. And we also ship. I deal with people all over the country.
If it's all right with you, we will tag and pin your store on our page.
Okay, awesome. That would be great because there's nothing worse than going to one of these other shops and they're all pretty and prim and proper and the people don't know what the fuck they're selling you. They just know they have to sell it to you.
Yep, they're
You know
just
what I
there
mean?
to make the money.
Exactly. That's what
Mhm.
makes us different. We are knowledgeable between my wife and I. We are extremely knowledgeable. We're there to help guide you on your journey. And like I said, so many new people come in that are like, I'm really drawn to this. I'm not sure why. And then, we kind of help you find that answer and give you the tools along the way. But in the end, you got to do the work yourself.
Right.
But we offer everything you could possibly want. And of course, we added horror into the store as well. We got different DVDs. We're big indie supporters. Matter of fact, my wife and I, we have a film coming out at the end of the month, hopefully, if not September, which you will absolutely dig. And music. So if you're a hard rock, heavy metal fan, I got stuff from some of the best indie metal bands actually around the world, not just the country. So we're kind of like an all-in-one, one-stop shop of awesomeness.
Oh, yeah. I like it. I like it a lot.
Let's see. Kayla says, what about the ones like me torn between two paths? Not sure what you mean by that.
Like she's stuck right now between two paths, like between Norse pagan and Wiccan.
Well, Wicca was created in the 70s during the hippie generation. Nothing wrong with hippies. I got nothing against them. But the person who founded that path did so with malicious intent.
I was waiting for you to say did so with a lot of mushrooms.
I'm sure that had a lot to do with it. It's basically taking all of the traditions since the dawn of time and kind of wrapped it up in a pretty little display. So, if you're a witch, you're a witch. They're known as green witches. There's a reason for that term. Herbology, working with the elements, earth, fire, water, and air. Okay, so you are a child of nature. If that is what you're drawn to, if Hecate herself has, shown up somehow in a dream or maybe through a trance or a meditation of some sort, then fine. That is what you are meant for. But if Thor, Odin, Freya, Balder, Tyr, any of the Norse gods and goddesses have come to you in one form or another, you'll know the signs. You'll know if that's what you are destined for. No one can tell you. But in the end, the path you choose will be the right one because it's what ignites that fire. It feels as normal as breathing. Let's put it that way. So don't let somebody dictate to you what your path should be or why it should be. It's personal, you know, and you'll know when the time is right. Cody says, what about being more on the Egyptian pagan side of the spectrum, but raised as a Norse pagan? Okay. Odin gave his fucking eye to the tree of life to gain all wisdom. And within that wisdom is to know all paths. There's nothing wrong with considering yourself if you're ancestral or not. If you know me, I hate labels. So you can work with whatever deities, traditions you want to. There's so much to gain from learning from all paths because different situations, it's like spell working. One spell, let's say traditional witch, might not be strong enough as perhaps an Egyptian one or a druid ritual. You know what I mean?
Right.
You can literally learn something from everything. I call them tools of spirituality. I myself am a Satanist Norse pagan, which when I say that to people, it blows their fucking minds. There's a reason for that. They are the two philosophies of life. And what has been revealed to me through different experiences that have become part of me. Ancestrally, I am of Norse blood, particularly the Germanic tribes.
Saying that, going back to the paranormal aspects of it, do you find it easier dealing with it, being that you're Norse and what is it,
Satanism.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you find it easier to deal with it than like a regular say Christian or Norse pagan or witch, whatever you are, like, do you find it easier to deal with? Like,
Uh,
I don't want to, like you said, like, I'm the same way. I don't like putting labels on people.
oh, for sure. Um, I would say because I do deal with a lot of different entities that it is a little less stressful, but it's like paranormally speaking, each entity is different from the other. Some I have seen, almost what I guess what the Jewish folks call a golem uh, get raised to such like epic proportions that it's just like, ugh.
Right.
There's no such thing as an easy spirit. I mean, unless they're, more peaceful and you get to learn more about it, why it's there. Um, but yeah, I definitely do through spirituality. Absolutely. It is a little bit less stressful than someone who's been closed off from it and then suddenly seeking. Well, you kind of have to, ask yourself why. Why are you seeking it in the first place?
Right.
Maybe there's a reason. Maybe they're trying to connect to you.
Right.
So I think it would probably be tougher for somebody who says, "Oh, I want to go ahead and investigate this haunted ass house or this haunted ass hospital, from 1920. Are you going to be ready for it?" Fuck no.
Right. Exactly.
You know what I mean? But if you gain some knowledge, some occult knowledge, it doesn't even have to be any particular path. Gain some of that, the basics of energy working. I think it helps tremendously.
Right. So just another, kind of a knowledgeable question is like,
Sure.
what would your outtakes be to the viewers if you're just starting out as an investigator or interest in the paranormal field? What would your words be and wisdom to give them?
Be strong in your convictions. Definitely figure out what your intent is. Like, why are you just looking for, um, do they exist? You're not always going to get the kind of experience that you would if you just open yourself. If you know anything about meditation or chakra working, we all have a third eye. It is there. So meditate, make sure your head's right, your heart's right, go into it open-minded. But if you're just going to just prove that something is most definitely there, spirits themselves can be kind of flaky.
I call them
Uh,
thrill seekers.
yeah, absolutely. If you want the shit scared out of you, they can make that happen. They
Oh,
don't
yeah.
even think twice about it. Because when you enter their space, it's almost like you're in their domain and they can figure you out pretty fucking fast.
Oh, very, very easy.
So if you're wanting to connect, you can connect. That's fine. Just make sure you do some research beforehand.
Right. Another outtake is choose your tools. Like, if you're new at investigating, don't jump into it 100%. Like, it could be a field that you don't want nothing to do with. Like, you could go out and spend thousands of dollars and they're like, get the shit scared out of you, and then you're stuck. you know? Like, oh man, I don't want nothing to do with this. And like
Sure.
like Reaper said, be open minded, but don't be closed minded, because that can get you in trouble like real quick.
And invite other things, other energies that you'll have a hell of a time getting rid of. And it's almost a curse. That's why I people that do, let's say, voodoo or necromancy, it's like they're still walking around with something attached to them from ages ago and just can't fucking get rid of it.
Right.
So be armed at the same time. You never know when you have to do an on-site exorcism.
Right.
And I don't mean the bullshit, things that you see in the movies. I mean spirits that you just have to banish them. So I would do a little bit of study on just basic banishing 101.
Mm-hmm. And believe it or not, I used to be like way against the Ouija board. And believe it or not, your wife is the one that taught me like the things on respect and how to properly use a Ouija board and since then I've been nothing but interested in Ouija boards.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Just like I said, don't do it alone. And as long as you have, a protective barrier around yourself, also you could even do a simple spell, or I don't know, whatever you want to call it, oogity boogity over the board itself. You can do that.
Right.
Incense is very powerful. Candle magic also aids in these things. So if you're going to do the Ouija board, make sure you have a black candle going. I know everyone's like, oh, black candles, it's evil. No, it's not. In color magic, black stands for protection.
Do your research.
Seriously, that's why I'm like, people are so fucking misinformed. It's ridiculous.
And like,
that's why I like to help.
If people do the research, like I found this out. I used to use like white teapot candles for communication, for flame play. Well, I come to find out white was one of the worst colors that you could use. And
definitely not for that.
Yeah. So now I'm in the search for. That's why I messaged you the other day, like, hey, you got any black candles? And like, because they're hard to find around here anymore. Like, once you burn them out, you better be ordering some.
Well, instead of getting them from Amazon, come see me.
Oh, most definitely.
As a matter of fact, I just got a bunch in. So
Hell yeah. Maybe when we come to the store, we may have to hop on the live and be like, hey, look where I'm at.
Actually, yeah, I think that would be great.
Because believe it or not, everybody that's in here, viewers, like myself and Reaper, we're only an hour and 20 minutes apart.
Oh, that ain't bad.
Yeah. Like
we used to see Kelsey a lot, or sorry.
Everybody knows her name.
It's no secret.
It's still engraved in my mind from.
Yeah, before the whole identity thing.
We used to come and see her.
Honestly, I tell my name to people all the time, and I don't know what it is. People just don't feel comfortable calling me by my name. So I'm like, shit, I've been Reaper since 20 years of fucking touring. So it's second nature to me. But my name is actually Steve.
I know this is kind of off topic, but there's a lot of times, and not to be mean, but you can tell somebody your real name and they don't get that your pages are actually, oh, that ain't you, you're lying. I don't know you as that. Like they see you in person, they're like, no, there ain't no way.
Yeah, honestly, being out of makeup, I've only had one person go, oh shit, you're Reaper. And it was at a casino of all places. I'm like, yeah,
oh, really?
You're playing games with me.
You could have mind blown them, like, who's that?
Most of the time I say I'm the artist formerly known as Reaper.
Right. So we're coming up on an hour here. So can you tell us a little bit about what you have upcoming and we should have done this at the beginning, like a little bit about yourself and what you do and
Oh, no problem. I could sum it up pretty quick. Obviously, most people know me from Reaper's Underground, but I do a lot more than just that. I do a lot of horror modeling. As a matter of fact, for Morgrot magazine, I got a cover issue coming out. It was supposed to come out this month, but the editor, main person of that entity, had to take on more responsibility for it. So probably will come out in September. I just finished a film, actually with my wife, Mischief, for Attack of the Corn Zombies. I'm actually about to do another film in about a week too. Just kind of a small part, but I actually get to speak, which is cool. I don't have to grunt.
right.
Not that I don't mind grunting, but I don't mind speaking. Actually, I think I'm more fucking hilarious doing that. I'm the Al
telling you,
Pacino.
man, I'm gonna write that movie.
Oh, trust me, I got a script and I'm just waiting for a producer to be like, yeah, this sounds like a great idea. Let's fucking do it.
Hell yeah.
It's almost a kind of a Faustian tale, but so much worse.
Oh yeah.
But I'm also a professional drummer. That's actually what I've been all this time, long before Reaper's Underground got created as a podcast show. I drum currently for the band Iron Serpent. Most people know me from my previous band, which was Black Tar Superstar. You can find us all over the socials. It's easy. If you look hard enough, you'll find it.
Right.
Everything is user-friendly these days. I do metal interviews, actresses, directors, all indie horror stuff. Anybody from David Howard Thornton to Bill Oberst Jr. As a matter of fact, I got another horror director coming up this Tuesday. Very juicy stuff. Will Colazzo. He is the director of Camp Blood and the Bloody Nun trilogy, because the third one just came out. So if you're a fan of those films, he's the owner of Cult Cinema LLC. You can find all his stuff on Tubi. So, but yeah, show up on Tuesday. Talk to the band. That's why I always tell people, interact. They want questions. It's fun.
Yeah, everybody go check out his page, Reaper's Underground. Like you said, a lot of good interviews. I'm on there pretty religiously. I actually missed the last one because we had a lot of stuff going on.
Which is fine. That's fine. It's cool. You can always catch the replays.
Right. Yep. You want to see some good, producers, actors, music players? Go check it out. Like you won't regret it.
Well, the underground is where it's at. It's the best art, especially if you love dark art and horror, because there's no better horror films out there than fucking indie horror.
Right.
It's just better script writing, better characters, and the effects are real. It's not CGI'd out.
Right. Like me the other night, and I'll admit it, I was all starstruck and fanboying the other night. Let's see, what was it? A week ago, I think it was, when you had
Michael Mastasios.
Yeah.
Oh man, what a great guy!
Right.
I really hope to work with him and Billy Pond. I think Billy Pond would be really fun to work for too.
Right.
I don't know. If you like your horror bloody and about as crazy as it can get, most def.
And not to plug anything, but everybody go check out the movie The Butcher. Like,
that movie was fucking epic.
Good flick. A lot of gore, a lot of blood. Like, be ready.
And he's such a fucking nice guy. It's just like David Howard Thornton of Terrifier. when you talk to him, you're like, dude, you just played the most horrific killer ever, but you're like this sweet guy.
You would have never imagined.
No, seriously, it's like, you would expect him to be like this nerdy guy that you knew, from school or some shit, or you work with him, like the guy next door kind of shit.
Right.
And it's like, now you're a horror fucking icon.
Exactly. Before we hop off, grab that. I have the proof. I have the proof.
What is the
Bam.
proof? Oh shit! Hell yeah!
Mischief, thank you.
Yeah, we got one of those in our store too. So if you like
I had the DVD too.
Awesome. Well,
Yeah.
it's been a blast. Thank you for inviting me to your show. I actually sometimes enjoy. Obviously I talk a lot, but I enjoy being interviewed more sometimes than I do doing the interview myself. So,
we much
thank you for
appreciate
allowing
you
me to
coming
be
on.
myself.
And really appreciate, we're getting back in the grind, and we're starting to, this is episode 1 of season 1, and we had one of the best demonic. I not to be mean, the best, Devil Daddy ever on the best interview. Probably one of the best interviews we'll have. Hopefully, I can talk his wife, Mischief, in doing an interview with us. But she's
sure
always,
she would.
She's always busy, super busy. So
Das true, yeah.
but
yeah, most stuff. I'm sure we can hook that up.
But thank you for coming on, and I think we'll close it out here. And if it's all right, I'll stay on here and we'll chat a little bit.
Sure, most def.
And all right, once again, thanks everybody. Thanks for joining Reaper's page and letting me interview him, being that we were having all kinds of technical difficulties. And everybody remember to stay strong, stay healthy. Much love.
Be unapologetically yourself. Live for you, not for anyone else. Be yourself. Don't let anybody tell you that you can't do or be what you want to be. As long as you're a good human, that's all that counts. And every dream is possible. But most importantly, with ghosties on your mind, stay heavy.